Good evening, all. How are we all doing?
Good to see you, Nick.
Yes, I can actually see you now. Now we have a new addition. Man has to wear glasses now, unfortunately.
All right.
So, yeah, I can actually see you now.
Well, it helps to make you look more intellectual.
I was thinking that myself, but then I was like, does it or does it not? You know?
Oh, glasses always do. Absolutely.
So, Saturday.
Are they photoreactive? Like, my glasses are photoreactive, which means that if you're in the sun, like they'll go dark, and they look like sunglasses.
I know they've got anti-glare on them. That's about all I know.
you know if they were photoreactive.
No, well, I know that.
Absolutely.
No, definitely not. So, Saturday. I think we're doing something. What are we doing on Saturday? You know, something's in my mind. I think we've got something planned, and we've got something big planned. But
absolutely,
I'm not going to talk too much on Saturday. I'm not going to give too much away about what I'm going to say on Saturday. I'm going to talk about a slightly different issue that also correlates to the issue that we're going to be speaking about on Saturday. So to elaborate a little bit for the people, I don't know if anybody's seen it or heard of it, but it's something that has been in the works for a very, very, very long time, decades. This has been in the works for. It's something called a digital ID.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll take it back a couple of steps. So I've spoke a lot about problem, reaction, solution. And for the people that don't know what the problem, reaction, solution actually is the governments create the problem. They already have, or they already know what the reaction is going to be based on the problem they have created. Then they also have the solution, right? This is like a 3-stage plan: problem, reaction, solution. So they've created the problem of mass immigration into the country, right? This isn't going to be implemented just because of this, but this is the grounds in which they're using to implement this digital ID that I'm going to talk about. So the governments have created the issue of mass immigration into the country, as well as other countries as well, right? But we're focusing on the UK right now.
Okay.
We have an unprecedented level of legal and illegal immigration. Now, a lot of people forget about the legal side of things, right?
Oh, very much so.
We're going to add it in there. So legal and illegal, right? They have now sparked the reaction, right? We've seen what's happened over the past, we'll say sort of really 6 months, where a lot of protests outside hotels have happened, where people are gathering en masse in areas, etc., etc. Over the sort of past 6 to 8 months, it's heightened exponentially, you know?
Yeah.
So there's the reaction. Now, what can we do to keep the people of Great Britain safe, right? Because this is under the guidance of safety. We will implement, as the government, a digital ID. This way, it will wean out the illegals and so on and so forth, because they will not be able to acquire a digital ID because they're not supposed to be here, right? So because they're not supposed to be here, this is what they're going to do. And on the back of the digital ID will fall even more forms of control. And by what I mean more forms is 15-minute cities, right? The ability to have everything that you need within a 15-minute walking vicinity. Schooling, groceries, medicine, that's all you need. According to the government, that's all you need. Schooling, medicine, food, okay. And you'll get your walk, right? Your walk is your walk to these facilities, right? Second of all is the implementation of a digital currency. Now, a digital currency is not a new thing. There is already parts of the world that have digital currencies, right? It's just not here yet. It's coming. And this can all be tied to your digital ID, to your form of ID. Now, if anybody is watching who's perspicacious enough, you will notice that your local supermarket chains, your Asda's, Morrison's, Aldi's, etc., now have little barriers upon entry to your stores. They have tellies with cameras. They have self-scanners with cameras. This is all part of the bigger picture of your digital ID. So you will enter said store, boom, camera's got you straight away, right? It knows who you are, it knows your name, it knows where you are, it knows how long you're there for, what you're buying, when you're buying it, how much you're spending. It's tracking all of this. But remember, this is under the guidance of safety. It's for your own protection, right? It's to keep you safe. And this is a family show, but I'm going to say the words and acronym of BS, right? That's what it is. It's BS. So when you see through that and you understand that these things are not being implemented to keep you safe, this is being implemented as a form of control, dictatorship, totalitarianism, every single word you could possibly describe in which, you know, is what it is. But that's what we're leading into. So going forward, obviously on Saturday, I'm pretty sure there will be a speaker that's going to touch on said issue, which then correlates to the immigration side of things, that they're not doing this, right, to keep us safe. So we need to highlight it as well. And we need to make them understand that we cannot be controlled and we will not allow them to control us in that aspect, right? We can't have it. So Saturday has to be a turning point, right? It has to be a turning point for everybody in multiple avenues, okay? We need to make the governments understand that their job, which it says in their laws and by their book, their first rule of government is to serve and protect the public. Now, they've not been doing that for near on, what, 2-3 decades, maybe longer than that, where they've actually served the public and done good for the British public. You know, it's always to appease everybody else. We have to do this to be seen to be helping everybody else before we help the British people. And that is another reason why we need to stand up on Saturday and say enough is enough in multiple aspects. We want our money for us, right? We are the British taxpayer. Our British taxpayer money should be coming to us, right? But also in the right form, right? Yes, we don't want people leeching off of the system and don't think they have to work because of whatever, right? Our money should be our money. What we bring in, we should get back. I don't see any problem with that. And if I say Scotland first and Scotland only, well, that could be misconstrued in multiple different ways, right? But I see no problem with saying Scotland first, Scotland only. I don't want our money going to foreign aid, to go into other countries. Can't have it. We don't want it. Our money's our money. Well, it should be anyway. And even if you want to go Westminster, right, and say, yes, that we generate an income, then we give it to Westminster, and then Westminster allocates it back to us, etc., etc. Even in that aspect, and in that system, in the system that we currently are in, right, that's fine. I'm okay with that. As long as it comes back to us, that's fine. Okay, goes down there, goes to the central bank, gets distributed, we get it back, Wales gets their share, Northern Ireland gets their share, England gets their share. We're good. We're fine. Happy days.
That's right. That's the point of a union has been always to share the fruits that are accumulated by working together. And I like to think that that's worked fairly well in the United Kingdom in the days where Scotland makes more money than it necessarily needs. It shares it with its neighbours and its family members, really, and vice versa. And so the union works out quite well that way. I think what people don't like, though, is for incomers to share in the collective fruits of the nation without ever having put anything in. And that's not much of an issue when there's only a small number of incomers coming in. But when it's literally 1 million a year, many of whom are going to be eligible for welfare payments, then that does great. And so it should, because it's quite simply unfair. It's unfair that these things should be happening to people who are all of us struggling anyway, most of us struggling anyway with the cost of living. So that's a point that the sheer fairness of it is a point that very often just gets missed. And I think that's really what upsets a lot of people as well, and turns them onto this issue, is that it's just not right for those sorts of levels of people to be coming in and costing us money. And we're paying almost for what sometimes often seems like our own replacement. And these are perfectly valid issues, and they're perfectly sensible issues, and they can all be properly addressed if they're properly spoken out. Now, if you're watching on TikTok, you won't actually see this interview because it's only being conducted here on the computer screen on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. But absolutely. Well, it's going to be really good to have you there, speaking on those kind of matters. Very timely, I think. I know you've got other matters that you'll be mentioning and speaking on. You also gave a short speech down in when we were in Dover back on the Saturday the 19th, which was extremely well received as well. You're a very clear speaker, a very consistent speaker, easy to hear and to follow what you have to say. And so really looking forward to you speaking on that.
Well, this time I'm doing it right, per se. So my previous speeches that I've given in Dover and Enough is Enough last year in George Square and previously to that, I've sort of just done it off the cuff. I've done a little bit in my head, but it's been off the cuff. And the one that I prepared last year for Enough is Enough in George Square, I had it. It was there. It was in the mind. The minute I stepped on that stage, boom, it left. It floated off into the cloud. So this time, I've done it right, and I've done it right again. But this time, I'm going to have it in my hand. I'm going to have it on paper, because this is probably one of the most important times and speeches that I'm potentially going to give between now and the election next year. We may have something in the works for next year, but basing it on that, between now and May next year, this is probably one of the most important speeches that I'm going to give. So I want to get it right, and I need to get it right. So I've typed it up, I'm printing it, it's going to be in my hand, and hopefully we can execute it in the correct manner that everybody's going to be able to follow and understand.
Absolutely.
So we'll
absolutely there. That's the thing, when you stand in front of a crowd that's an excited crowd, you feel the energy of it, and so that makes you it can take your brain away from what you are carefully thinking about. So it really does help to have it written down somewhere, whether on a piece of paper or on a phone or whatever, and not even necessarily having to read it all out as such, but just to feel the crowd and know that you're never going to get lost. You're never going to get stuck for words because you've got something here to say. And yeah, it does help to write it down as well, because that does help to organize the thoughts into a logical pattern, which makes it easier for people to understand as well. So yeah, looking forward to that. We've got an eclectic crowd, I have to say. We have got a chap who's going to be, well, I can't speak for what any of them are going to say. I don't know, but we also have a person from a Scottish nationalist party as well, who's going to be speaking, and I'm so glad that he's going to do that, and he's going to be given food for thought for all the other Scottish so-called nationalists that will be in the vicinity at the All Under One Banner event. And I mean, what would you say to people who want? What would you say to keep the two sides kind of polite with each other? How shall we? I
would say
that.
I would say that, like I gave in my speech actually a little bit last year, if you remember. I said I was here to also stand up for that lot over there, right? Meaning the SNP lot over there at the time. And yeah, people maybe went, oh, whoa, why is he doing that? Well, again, these issues will affect them. It is affecting them. They can't see it. The blinkers are on. The eyes are closed. The ears are shut, right? They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. And the time will come when they will need to wake up, right? Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. You know what? I've got hope, right? I've got a little bit of hope. So hopefully there is a time when they will wake up. So what I would say to anybody that's going to come along, do not rise to the occasion as such to appease the opposition. Rise to the occasion to support the people you're standing beside. Because what they want is they want the reaction from us, as it were, right? They want us to act out. They want us to act in a demeaning, aggressive, tone, etc. They want that reaction from us. Don't give them it. Just wave. You remember the penguins from Madagascar? Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave, right? That's it. That's all the reaction you need to give them, because we know, and the audience you have here and the team behind you, we are on the right side of history, right? We are the ones that are defending and protecting the country. It might not be the way that everybody necessarily agrees with, but at some point in the very, very near future, when push comes to shove, right, they will potentially say, maybe they were right. In fact, they are right. So we're not far right, we're just right. But
well said.
We can't rise to their occasion. Raise your colours and rise to the occasion for us and what we're doing as you, me, other speakers, and everybody else that's there standing side by side with one another, united as one. And what's even better is don't go there and be part of it and not act upon it. You can be the next person to do this. Speak to one another. Like, don't form in your own little, crowds as such within a larger crowd. Go to your neighbour, next to you, standing next to you. Speak to one another. We all have the same common ground. We're all there for the same reason. We can't be divided amongst ourselves. Talk to each other. That's all we need to do. Start the conversations. Now, I was right on the verge of changing part of my speech. Right, I was right on the cusp. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Right, not the time, not the place. Well, it is the time and it is the place, but it's not at the same time. Now, while I'm there, I will happily elaborate for anybody that wants to understand things that are happening in different areas which affects us directly. So if anybody does want any more information on said things, I think if anybody can read between the lines, they know what I'm talking about. If you want any more information, you can come up and speak to me. I'm not going to bite you. It's fine unless you ask me to, but that's by the by. Yeah, talk to one another. That's all we need to do, and remain civil. Key point. We have to remain civil.
Absolutely, 100%. That's you holding forth at the Free Speech Rules rally, which was last April, which was just after Humza Yousaf had decided to enact the law against free speech. So you spoke well at that, and you did. Humza Yousaf was speaking at the other side of the square, and as you said there, you said that you were speaking for that lot also, and for the importance of freedom of speech. And in this sense, we're also speaking for, quote unquote, that lot as well, in the sense of helping them to understand the importance of protecting our borders. Absolutely fantastic. So, Nick, we'll see you and others on Saturday, this coming Saturday.
I'll have a shave for you all, okay?
Oh,
I'll trim myself up and I'll get myself more presentable.
well, that'll be a sight to see. And we encourage everybody to come along at 12 o'clock for a 12:30 start. There's going to be 8 speeches and 7 speakers, and we'll be going for an hour and a half. I should imagine by 2 o'clock it should be coming to an end. If anybody else, if you want to know how to plan the rest of your day, when you get down there, you will notice quite a few of the All Under One Banner people, who are the Scottish nationalist group that's also rallying in the same vicinity. And you'll probably notice some of the kind of the people, I don't have a proper word for them, but they like to think that they're against us. They're a kind of militant group. You'll probably see a few of them. Just ignore them. I'm talking about the Stand Up for Rapists people. I like to call them so. Stand Up for racism, against racism or whatever. They can just be ignored. Basically, we intend to totally ignore them and concentrate on saving our country